Hey, how are you guys? Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making our own sausage meat, and you can use that for anything. If you're making your own chili that you want something, if you want to make your own sausage and put it on pizza, if you want to use it in your cabbage rolls, or just lots of times I make sausage patties, and then I'll make like muffin in a mug bread, and I'll use it for like an egg sandwich. Fantastic. But what I'm going to do today is I want to make a keto cheese ball that you can use as an appetizer. Lots of times I just have them in the freezer. If I come home from work and I forgot to take something out or whatever, I can use those. It'll help me, it just helps me stay a little bit more on track and not fill myself with garbage. Or like I said, sometimes I'll just fry an egg in the morning and have a couple of the keto sausage balls with it too. So it's really, really cool. So to start off with, I have about 2 pounds here of ground pork. And yeah, there's a lot of marbling in it. That marbling is going to give it its flavor. And then what we're going to do is we are going to add our ingredients. Now this is going to make our keto sausage. You can buy sausage by all means. You can. Sometimes it have a lot of fillers in it though, so you have to be careful with that. I put in 1 tablespoon of garlic, onion powder. I'm just going to grab my onion powder. We are going to put a 1 teaspoon of onion powder in here. Yes, you have to be careful of your fillers and stuff. And sometimes it's just nice to make something yourself that you know. And even though it has a lot of different little spices in here. So that's 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I just have a ½ teaspoon here handy, so I'm using that. A 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. Now, by all means, it seems like there's quite a few seasonings, and you can make this. This is another thing. You can make this sausage up, and then you can freeze it. So you don't have to use it all at once. Okay, so we got onion powder. We have our oregano. I'm going to use some parsley in here. Probably about a ½ tablespoon of parsley. It's already smelling yummy and garlicky. And what's my next ingredient? Rosemary. Rosemary. I have a friend that's named Rosemary. Okay, and we are going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of this rosemary, and I'm just going to crush it as I'm putting it in. Just a little bit, break it up just a tiny, tiny bit. We're going to put in, did I bring the sage? No, I didn't. I'm just going to grab some sage. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of sage in here, probably also a 1/4 teaspoon. It's a little powdery here. So. Yeah, I absolutely love these sausage balls. These are a really, really good thing too at Christmas time when if you do an appetizer night. We do lots of appetizer nights around the Christmas holiday season. You get together with some girlfriends and stuff, or you know, even couples, and everybody brings their best appetizers, and we have an appetizer meal. So we've got some sage, some thyme. Now the next thing we're going to do is put some fennel seeds in there, and they said to crush the fennel seeds. Now you can take the fennel seeds, and as you can see, I'm almost out because I use this quite a bit. They're a little bit longer seeds, and you can take a knife and you can crush them or whatever. Honestly, I put them in here. I got this thing from Pampered Chef. I put it in my fennel seeds. Put this in here. Now I've chopped it up a little bit, but you've already got, like it's just, I'm just going to pop this off the bottom here. So you got your chopped up fennel seeds. Now I probably have a little, how much do I want in here? I want a good teaspoon. Oh yeah, that's going to be probably just, and the smell of that freshly crushed fennel is unflippin' believable. You know what? I'm going to probably put in about 1.5 teaspoons. If you're not, that fennel's almost like a licoricey smell to it. So you could cut it back to 1 teaspoon if you want. But honestly, I have made it. I have run out of fennel, and I made it without the fennel, and it is not the same at all. So it's like it's way better with the fennel. And we're going to put about 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes in here. That's just going to add a little bit more to our sausage. We are going to add in our whole bowl here probably 2 tablespoons of a red wine vinegar. Excellent. So again, what we're making here is keto sausage. And then from the keto sausage, we're going to make some keto sausage balls that are cheesy balls, okay? The other thing is I like to put in mine just a tad bit. Probably, what do we have here? Half a tablespoon. Yeah, probably that would be good. A half a tablespoon of Truvia into my sausage. You know what? I'm not going to do a whole half a tablespoon. I think I'm going to do maybe a quarter, maybe do 1 teaspoon. Okay, 1 teaspoon of Truvia just to add a little bit of, I don't know, you're not even going to taste the sweetness in the meat, but it just helps it a little bit. And we're going to mix this all up. And yes, we're going to be a little bit hands-on here maybe in a bit. I'm just trying to keep my hands as clean as I can for the next little bit. So you're going to mix up all that spice. Yeah, you can smell that fresh fennel and absolutely everything in here is super, super good. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do, and I never got that ready either, we are going to use a cooking onion. We're going to use about, maybe about a half of an onion here. So we're just going to cut this off, and we're going to dice it up. Now the onion is just going to add a little bit more flavor, even though we have the onion powder in here. I've used if you just want to use it like this, that's totally fine. I just find when I'm making my keto balls, sausage balls, I just love a little bit more onion in there. So I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm going to put a half of this onion, and then we're going to take, just going to take my seasoning and dump it over here. We're going to use our little chopper because I love this little chopper. Just going to dice up our onion really, really fine. Super easy. Like, isn't that like the super easiest thing? And then you're just going to dump that onion in here. Okay, we're going to set that aside. I'm going to move this out of my way. And have a little drink. Okay, so we're going to stir this up. So again, we've got our sausage, we've got all of our spices. You know, it absolutely smells delicious and it's not even cooking yet. I have preheated my oven to 350 and I have a baking sheet with parchment paper. You don't have to have, you don't have to use parchment paper on it. I just like it. It's way easier to clean up, less mess. Okay, so we're going to stir that all in. Now, if you wanted to, I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to bring this over here. How simple this is. But we're going to add some cheese and we're going to add a few other things. But if you want just to make yourself a nice sausage patty, you can use whatever, a scoop if you want. You've got clean hands here. And you just shape your sausage as big as you want them. We're going to lay them in here. So I'm going to make a few of these into just sausage patties, just for, like I said, when I have my breakfast egg biscuit that I make myself, I can do that. You can actually make egg biscuits. Did you know this? And you can freeze them, like your keto egg biscuits. So you actually take your egg and your sausage and all that kind of stuff. You make it up, you cool it, and then you're going to wrap it up. And you can take it out like the night before, let it thaw, and then just pop it in the microwave. It's not as super, super good as fresh, just like any other sandwich isn't. But still, if you're in a hurry, like I like it. Lots of times, like, yeah, driving into town, I'm like, oh, I haven't had breakfast or whatever. I'll just pop one of those into the oven, and yeah, there you go. Sorry, the oven, the microwave. You can warm them up in the oven too. They just take a little bit longer. Okay, I'm just going to do, you can put these fairly close together because they're not going to spread out or anything. Some nice little sausage patties. And these sausage patties, after I cook them, I let them cool. And then I just put them in a Ziploc bag. If I'm going to know that they're going to be in my freezer for a little bit longer, I might even use my Costco machine that I got that, you know, sucks the air out of it. I don't know what you want to call that thing, but sucks the air out of the bags. I'm just going to wash my hands up here. go, just wash that up. Okay, so now, so that's your sausage patties. Super, super simple. They absolutely smell amazing. And again, these are your sausage patties, so if there's other spices or seasonings or whatever that you want to add, you go right ahead. Now we're going to go on to making our sausage balls for our appetizers. I'm just going to take this outside of the side. I'm going to take 1 egg. You know what, my eggs are a little small. It should be like 1 large egg, but mine are a little on the small side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 eggs in what's left here. I always break my egg in another container just to make sure. You want to make sure everything is super good with that egg before you add it to your mixture, and then you don't have to pick it out if it's disgusting or something. There we go. So I'm going to dump 2 eggs in there. Take my scoop out actually. I'm going to just mix that up just a little bit, and that egg is going to help bind up our balls here. There we go. Now the next thing I do is you do need some kind of a filler for your sausage balls, and for that I am going to use 1 cup of almond flour. There we go. We're going to mix that up. And those 2 eggs in there, that's really, really good. I'm going to actually show you this. There we go. So we're going to mix this all up. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, and I could have done it with the almond flour or whatever, but anyways, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm just going to put in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, sprinkle it all over, and then we're going to work that all nicely in. That baking powder with the almond flour and the egg just kind of gives those meatballs like a nice little puffiness to them. Okay, so we've got that nicely worked in. We are going to add, I don't know if I have it on here yet. I'm going to add some freshly ground black pepper, because I love black pepper. I'm going to put quite a bit of that in there. We are going to give it just a little touch of salt. We're adding cheese to this, and there is going to be some salt in the cheese. So we're just going to add a little touch of the mineral salt. And now we're probably going to add, I got about 2 pounds, maybe a little bit less since we've done that. So I'm probably going to add maybe a cup, maybe 2 cups of the cheese. You can definitely make them as cheesy as you want. I have just an old grated cheddar that I had in the freezer. That's what I do is we live out in the country. Can't always run into town and grab some cheese when I decide to make a cheesy sausage ball. So yeah, so I throw it in the freezer. Cheese fresh to eat. It might get a little gritty, or not gritty, but crumbly. Crumbly, that's the word, when it's in the freezer. But for cooking and everything, it's freaking fantastic. Anytime cheese goes on sale, I always buy a brick or 2 and just throw in the freezer for any kind of cooking. Look at that. Isn't that yummy, cheesy goodness? We're gonna have some yummy, yummy sausage balls. So you can make these balls with your hands, or if you have a cookie scoop, that's what I have. You can make them any size. Just have to watch that cooking time. If you're making them too small, even though they're sausage and stuff, you don't want them like dried out hard pieces of stuff that you're going to be serving to your company. Super easy, just scoop away here. And again, you can put these like fairly close together because they are not, they're not going to run or anything. So let's get as many on our cookie sheet here as we can. And like I said, I use the parchment paper just because it's easy to clean up. Still have to wash our sheets and everything, but we're not going to have to scrub. Okay, and that's as simple as those. There you go. So in this short little time we've been together, what have we been together? Like 15 minutes. We have made some sausage patties that we're going to use when we're having our eggs or in our sausage egg sandwiches or whatever. And over here, we've made a great appetizer, or again, a great snack. If you're hungry or whatever, you can take these right out of the freezer. Honestly, they're gonna be cooked and you can pop them in their microwave. You have a late night snack, you can have a couple of those, you know. It's way better than the chips and the chocolate bars at night. Or like sometimes I use it for a meal. Maybe I forgot to take meat out. So I will make myself a salad and pop like 4 or 5 of these in the microwave. If I forgot to take them out. If I've taken them out, sometimes I just throw them in the oven, let them warm up or whatever while I'm making my salad. And there's my protein in my salad. So anyways, have a great day. Thank you for joining me making this stuff. In the pictures I'm going to put some of our finished product in the comments. Anyways, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me.